Hi, this is Tad Johnson from Island, and today I'm joined by Dennis Pike, who's one of our SEs based in North Carolina. Dennis, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, so you were just telling me about an interesting customer that you're working with. I believe it's a law firm.
Yep, that's right.
And what's the problem they're trying to solve?
It's a pretty common use case in the legal industry. So you have deal rooms, and that's where the various employees of the law firm, lawyers, paralegals, so on, anyone who's interacting with one of their customers that they're representing, that's where they're sharing documents back and forth as part of the casework they're doing. So they had a process where they had a lot of customers. They had their own in-house deal room. They had a lot of customers who didn't want to use their deal room. They wanted to use their own, which a lot of times would be just a third-party SaaS file sharing service. Sometimes they'd have their own purpose-built deal room, but they preferred to interact there than in the law firm's own deal room. So they had an approval process for that, but basically once any of their firm's members were approved, they just kind of had open access to those deal rooms, which is really sensitive material. So they wanted to make sure that they were providing the level of security that was required. But they also wanted to make sure there's part of the process that they wanted to implement was to make sure that anyone working on any of their any customer they were representing, any documents that they were working on, they wanted to make sure that not only were they maintaining those documents in the customer's deal room, but that they were also storing them in their own internal deal room so that they would also have their own copy. So there's a bunch of different pieces of functionality they wanted to layer in anytime that someone on staff was interacting in a customer's deal room. So we were able to implement that for them.
And you're implementing this directly inside the browser with the Island Enterprise browser.
Yeah, that's right. So they're on specific users and groups are enforcing the use of Island when going to these third-party deal rooms, but that's all that's required in order for them to layer on this additional functionality is just to be accessing those SaaS applications using the Island browser.
Very interesting. Is there anything else that you've learned that's interesting about this customer or this use case?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen it across a lot of different industry verticals. So whether it's energy or healthcare or financial, in this case it was legal, there always seems to be a set of problems that the customer is coming across where they have certain requirements that risk, compliance, governance is trying to stay within the guardrails of their typical business requirements, and they're having to put in exceptions in order to run their business. So they're allowing end users to use certain applications in certain ways that they don't necessarily want, but they just haven't had the ability to put the controls in place that they want to put in place with the tools that they had available to them prior. And then now with Island, because we're the browser and because we have a whole new level of control and visibility that they didn't have before, they're now able to provide access to these services in the way that they want, that the end users want, but while still staying within the guardrails that risk and compliance wants as well.
Nice. So this sounds like a good example where it's not just a security question, it's also a productivity question. And obviously in a law firm where you're billing for potentially hundreds of dollars an hour, that productivity really adds up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Hey, thanks, Dennis.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk to you later.